everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Effie and today we are doing a full face of makeup and everything on my face costs £5 or less. This is the look I've created. I'm quite happy with it. The lips don't match the eyes. We don't care here. Here, that doesn't matter. So long as there's a lip and so long as there's an eye, they don't have to match. It's fine. Like I said, everything on my face costs £5 or less. If you would like to see me do another one of these videos with a slightly higher budget, so maybe £10 or £15 or £20 or whatever, let me know down in the comment section because I would love to do that, and I would probably choose completely different products. Not that I don't love these products. You'll see throughout the video a lot of the products I have on my face are firm favourites of mine. Like, a few of these products were in my favourites video at the end of last year because I love them that much. So just let me know if you would like to see another one of these videos. Also, let me know what your favourite cheap products are because I'm always down for finding a new bargain. But if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it is all makeup content. So if that sounds like your thing, then this is the place for you. Just hit that subscribe button down there. It's free and it puts a giant smile on my face. But other than that, I will let you enjoy the video. So we're going to start with primer, and the one I've chosen, which is my favourite one for under £5, is the Collection Hydrating Primer and Ready. I don't really know what it's called, there's too many words on the packaging, but I really like this one. It is quite hydrating, it's nice on the skin. I think it does a good job at hydrating my skin. My skin always needs a bit of hydration. So this is my favourite one for under £5. There we go. Skin is feeling nice and hydrated. That is my favourite primer for under £5. I do have other primers that I think are a bit more hydrating, but I think that one does a really good job. I know my skin looks a little bit shiny, but that will go. I think it does a good job for under £5. For foundation, this isn't a surprise to anyone. My favourite foundation pretty much anyway, but it just so happens to be under £5, is the MUA Pro Base Long Wear Matte Finish Foundation. I have the shade 102. I just think this is a really good foundation. It comes on a spatula and every time I use it I have to state that that is a really good thing because it allows you to choose how much you use. I think it's really good. It is quite a high coverage foundation. It is buildable though, so you can use less and build it up if that's how you would prefer, or you can just go in with loads like I tend to do and have high coverage. But yeah, I just do think this is a really good foundation, which is funny because I actually don't particularly like the concealer that goes along with this. I don't think it has much coverage, but the foundation is really good. I think you can easily tell just how high coverage that is. It has completely blanked out my skin, and my skin is not doing the best right now. It's also not at its worst, but it's not doing amazingly, and it's completely just blanked that out and done a really good job of it. I did use probably more than I normally would. For every day I would go in with a smaller amount and sheer it out a lot more, but I wanted to show you how it is full coverage and it can work like that. And personally for me, because this foundation is so matte, I can use it without having to set it. I know not everybody will be able to do that. It is completely dependent on your skin type. I have a pretty normal skin type. Sometimes it can be a bit combination, but generally it's kind of in the middle. I could go out for a day, not a very long day, but I could go out for a day without setting this and it would last perfectly fine on my skin. Concealer, I have an oldie but a goodie, the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. I have the normal one. I think they have another one which has like a pink lid, I'm not sure. I have the shade 1 Rose Porcelain, which is a bit too pink for me if I were to use this as a foundation shade, but I think for under the eyes it just helps to lighten there a little bit more. I really want to pick up this concealer in a shade that actually works for my skin tone because I think this would be really good for covering spots and things like that, just because it is really good coverage. And everybody has raved about this concealer since the dawn of time. It's been reformulated, there's been new shades added. I just think this is a really good concealer, and the fact that people are still using it however many years on is a really good sign in my opinion. There we go. I actually think it's a really nice concealer. My under eyes crease a lot anyway. With any concealer, there's no fixing that, but I think this one does a better job than most at preventing that. It's obviously brightened my under eyes. It did start to dry down a little bit on my forehead, so you do have wiggle room with it, but work as quickly as you can. I just think this is a really nice shade for lightening, and like I said, I would love to get another shade for covering my blemishes and things like that. I think it's a really good concealer. Powder. Now, I was a bit worried about this one because I didn't know if I actually had one that I liked enough that was under £5. This baby is £5. This is my favourite powder of all time. It is the I Heart Revolution scented loose baking powder in the shade Peach. They do have a translucent shade which is coconut, I think, and then they have a medium shade that is banana, and then a darker shade that is chocolate banana, which I think is really good. Personally, I usually go for a translucent powder, but I really enjoy this. Even though this one is meant to have a colour to it, I don't notice it as much, and I really do enjoy this powder, and you get a lot for £5. It's stated that it is a scented powder. I don't notice a scent in it at all. I know it's meant to be peach scented. I don't think it smells like peaches. I don't think it really smells like anything. However, obviously if you are sensitive to scents, maybe try and find a tester of it before you put it on your skin or anything like that. But I really do enjoy this powder. I own way too much makeup for a normal person. And if I wasn't doing YouTube and Instagram, I obviously wouldn't own this much makeup. However, as I am doing makeup for YouTube and Instagram and I test a lot of stuff, I tend to sort of not be in the mindset of would I re-buy this product, because I'm never going to need to repurchase something because I will always have other products to use. This is one of the very few things I would actually repurchase. If I ran out of this, I think I would rebuy it because I enjoy it that much. On to blush, and I have the MUA Blush Matte Powder in the shade Rose Tea. I think they have 4 shades of these and they are amazing. They are pigmented without being too pigmented. They work well. Obviously the shade range is a bit questionable because there's only 4 shades, but they are all quite unique shades. Like there's this one which is a cool tone pink, they have like a yellowy orange, they have a darker red shade, and I can't remember what the 4th one is. But they are really nice, and this is in my project pan and I still haven't even made a dent in it, which is frustrating in its own right, but it means it lasts really, really well. So there we go. You probably saw I was able to pile it on without getting too much pigment, which I think is actually a plus point when it comes to blush. I find so many blush formulas, it's like one dip and way too much, and if you watch my videos you'll know that I quite often make a mess of my blush. It is very difficult to make a mess of this, and that's why I love it so much. It's also a very everyday wearable shade for me. I don't like using the word wearable because it's all subjective, but when I say wearable it means I could wear it to my office and nobody would question it. And this is definitely a shade I could wear to my office and no one would question it. It's very subtle, very soft. I just really like these, and I want to pick up a couple more shades. I think I want to pick up the yellowy one and the 4th one that I can't remember. The one that's like more red toned is a bit too dark for me, but the other ones I'm very much interested in. For bronzer I have this. This is also in my project pan, so I have been dipping into it a lot. This is the Revolution Ultra Sculpt and Contour Kit in Ultra Fair CO1. And as you can see, this comes with a bronzer, a highlight and a blush. The blush I also quite like. It has a bit of shimmer to it. It's almost like a gold shimmer. I think it's meant to be a dupe of Orgasm by NARS. I think it's along those lines. The highlighter I don't really care for. It doesn't bother me that I don't use the highlight because I've got a blush and a bronzer for £3.50 and that's really good. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of the bronzer, and I might also just put a touch of the blush just over this one. I tend to do that if I want to add a bit of sheen to this blush because the colours work well together and they look nice. tried and true favourite here, to be honest. For highlight, I have one of these. This is the MUA Undress Your Skin Shimmer Highlight. I think they've changed the name of these. I cannot remember what they've changed them to, but they are exactly the same. This one is in the shade Iridescent Gold, and mine is very, very beat up. This used to belong to a friend of mine, and I think it accidentally got burnt, which is why the plastic is all melted, and it's completely broken. The lid, it breaks off. But this is an amazing, amazing highlight. Me and my friend, between us, have hit pan on it because she did own it for a while before she gave it to me. But this is honestly just a really good highlight. They do quite a few shades. I will say, if you're buying one of these, there is an overspray on them. So when you first get them and you try and dip your brush in it, it may seem like nothing is happening because you have to sort of wear away the overspray. So just take your finger and just rub at it for a couple of seconds. Nice and glowy. I love these highlights. I don't reach for it as often as I should, but they are amazing. At this point in my makeup is where I like to do setting spray. I know a lot of people leave it till the end, and that's fine. I just like to use it to sort of mix the powders on my face together a bit. It sort of brings them up and then back down. I'm explaining it wrong, but it helps rehydrate the powders and then melt them all back down together, so it looks a little bit less powdery on your skin. And the one I have that is under £5 is the MUA Pro Base Mattifying Fixing Spray. I will say I don't like the smell of this. This is in my project pan. I've been using it for a while now. I don't like the smell of it. I'm sorry, it's just not my thing. But it does do a good job and I've used quite a lot of it. So we're going to use this one today. Okay, I will say you don't actually need to spray that much. It was a bit much and I'm probably swallowing it, which isn't the best thing to do. Now I just wait for my face to dry. Give it a minute. And there we go. I just think it helps my skin to look a bit more like normal and less powdery. If I've gone a bit too heavy with powder, a setting spray will fix it most of the time. So now let's zoom in and have a look at the eyes. Eyes, I like to start with an eye primer. I know not everybody does, but if I can recommend one thing to you, is use an eye primer. I'm sorry, I'm an eye primer sort of person, so I use an eye primer. And the one I've really been enjoying is the Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Conceal and Eyeshadow Primer. This is in the shade 2 Porcelain. They call this a concealer. I wouldn't like to use it as a concealer personally, but for an eye primer I think it actually does a really, really, really good job. And the way I like to use this is I go in with a fluffy duo fibre brush, which means it has these white fibres at the end and these brown fibres down here, and I just tap my brush in. You don't need a lot of this stuff because it is so full coverage. And you just pat it over your lid and it completely blanks out your lid. I have tried using this as a concealer a couple of times. The only time I like to use it as a concealer is when I have a really obvious spot and it needs covering. This will do it. It's just very thick, so be aware of that. Also, bonus, smells amazing. For eyeshadow, I've picked the Revolution Reloaded Neutrals 2 palette. This is an oldie but goodie. It's been in my collection for the longest time and I used to really love it. I used to use it all the time. I also have Iconic Fever, which I also really like, but I'm going to go for a pink look today because I want to. They're not the best eyeshadow palettes in the world, but like I said, I've loved them for a very, very long time and I've used them for a very long time. So they might not perform that well now, but they did a good job when I used to use them, so I'm going to use them now. I'm just going to throw on a quick eye look, probably a pretty simple eye look, but I will sort of point to the shades as I go, but I'll speed it all up. Okay, there we go, a super simple eye look. I think it actually looks really nice. The shades were so much more pigmented than I was ever expecting. I'm really impressed. Bearing in mind how old this palette is, how cheap this palette is, this is amazing. I'm genuinely so impressed. My battery is flashing at me, so I'm quickly going to do my brows and my mascara, and then I'll go off camera and catch up the other eye, and we'll come back and do a lip. So starting with brows. The MUA Brow Define Micro Precision Brow Pencil is my all-time favourite brow pencil. It is so similar to the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. It's unreal, and it costs less than £5, and the Benefit one's like 20 something. This is incredible, and it has a spoolie on the end, so I'm going to quickly do my brows with this. There we go. I think this is such a good shade for me. They're not looking perfect. I'm rushing because my battery is flashing at me and that puts me on edge. But this is just such a good eye pencil. As much as I've said throughout this video that I don't repurchase products, again, this might be one I repurchase if it runs out, just because it's so cheap but so good. And it is literally the perfect colour for my brows. I think this is the shade Mid Brown. So if you have similar hair, brow colour to me, this is the one for you. And for mascara, again, another all-time favourite. These are genuinely my favourite products, and when I was going through this video to try and find products, finding out they were under a £5 was just amazing. This is the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado Mascara. I haven't reached for this one in a while, but it has a plastic bristle brush with loads of tiny bristles, and I just think it is amazing at giving length. If you want length, this is the one for you. There we go. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but it genuinely makes it look like I have 1,000 eyelashes. I absolutely love it. What I'm going to do now is go off camera, catch up my other eye, charge my battery for a little bit, and then we will come back and look at lips. I'll see you in a moment. I'm back. My battery should last till the end of the video now. I caught up the other eye. This eye is a little bit more out there than this one, but that's fine. They match enough for this video. We're going to move on and look at lips. I'm not including lashes in this. I don't think any of my lashes are actually under £5. I feel like the best place to look is Primark or TK Maxx if you want some for under £5. I'm including a lip liner. This is the MUA Intense Colour Lip Liner in the shade Couture. I don't wear lip liner every day. It's a habit I'm trying to get into because I think they help a lot. And honestly, I've tested a couple of lip liners. If you're spending more than £5 on them, they're not worth it. I'm pretty sure this is like £1 or £2 or £1.50, something around those lines. It's amazing, and it's so long. It's longer than all of my other lip pencils, and I've also heard the Primark ones are really good and they're like £1 too. Okay, not the best application because I'm still getting used to using them, and I know how ridiculous I look when I just have lip liner on, so I won't stay like this for very long. But these are so pigmented, so creamy, they work well. You can sharpen them super easily with just a regular sharpener. They come in so many different colours. If you're going to buy a lip liner, please don't spend more than a couple of pounds on it. You don't need to. These work amazing. And I've also gone for an MUA lip. This is the Velvet Matte Longwear Liquid Lipstick. Again, they do these in so many different shades. This is in the shade Dash. It matches quite well to the lip liner. It doesn't match the eyes, it's a bit too pink, but that's fine. Well, this is pretty standard here. We never match our lips to our eyes, it's fine. I went for a liquid lip because I feel like liquid lips are harder to find under £5, particularly good ones, and I do think these ones are pretty good. They're very comfortable, they last a decent amount of time, and they're cheap. Bullet lipsticks I feel like are a little bit easier to find under £5, and also you're not particularly looking for a long-lasting product if you're wearing a bullet lipstick, in my opinion, because they're not made to last as long as liquid lipsticks. So I went for a liquid lip because I prefer them. They last longer, they're a bit more difficult to find, but these ones are really good. there we go. I actually really enjoy this lip colour. I wear it fairly regularly. It's one that I do reach for a bit more often. It doesn't match the eyes, that's fine. We're okay with it. Like I said, these last really well. They're not the most long lasting in my collection, but in my mind I always try and find a balance between a liquid lipstick that is long lasting and comfortable, and I feel like often there's a trade-off between those two characteristics, and this is a really good in between. It is comfortable, it feels nice on the lips, it's not too thick, it's not too dry, it's not too heavy or anything like that, but it lasts a decent amount of time. So there we go, this is the final look. Everything on my face costs £5 or less as far as I know. If I've made a mistake, I'm so sorry, but hopefully it should all be £5 or less. If you would like me to do another one of these videos with like an under £10, under £15 or under £20, please do just let me know down in the comments, because it would honestly be pretty much completely different products. I really enjoy the products on my face. I've said throughout this video a couple of the products that are on my face are my favourites of all time. For example, the mascara is one of my favourite mascaras I've ever tried. The powder, one of my favourite powders I've ever tried. The lip product, I love. The eyeshadow has been a firm favourite of mine since before I even started YouTube. The brow pencil, one of my favourites of all time. I'm not just saying these products are great because of the price, they're great and the price is an added bonus. But overall, I'm really happy with the look. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know what your favourite products are for under £5, because I am always down for a bargain, and I really want to test out more cheap makeup because that's what I prefer to recommend. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it is all makeup content, so if that sounds like your type of thing, hit that subscribe button. It is free and it puts a giant smile on my face. Like I said, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the look. Let me know your favourites for under £5 or under $5 or under €5 or whatever currency you work in. But just let me know what cheap products you enjoy. But other than that, I'll let you go. Have a great day and an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!